Panzer Dragoon is one of many Sega properties that seems to have been completely forgotten by its parent company after they stopped making their own consoles. Made as a response to Nintendo's Star Fox series, it was arguably better than Star Fox in some ways, with an even more unique and fleshed out world, more diverse combat, and best of all, freaking dragons. While this series has been pretty stagnant for almost 20 years, Sega has finally announced a remake of the original Panzer Dragoon slated for winter 2019. Oh no. Oh no, this is bad. Could Panzer Dragoon be in... toasty. So while we're down here, we might as well pass the time by playing the last Panzer Dragoon game to come out as of today. Let's take a look at Panzer Dragoon Orta. Panzer Dragoon Orta is the 5th game in the Panzer Dragoon series, the 4th rail shooter, and the 3rd rail shooter on consoles. We don't talk about Panzer Dragoon Mini because it sucks! This game was made by Smilebit, now known as Sega Sports R&D, and I'm gonna try to hide how much pain that causes me. It was released on the Xbox in 2002 in Japan and the rest of the world in early 2003 to pretty good reception, with the lowest score I can find being a 7 out of 10 by Edge magazine. The story of this game is pretty insane. In the past, I've just given the setup for the game I'm covering, but this time I'm gonna try something a little different, just to give you the full effect of how crazy this story gets. So the story goes as follows. War! In the distant future, an empire has worked to create a new species of bioengineered weapons known as dragon mares, alongside a new breed of artificial humans known as drones. Meanwhile, a girl known as Orta has been locked away in a tower, her village believing her to be a harbinger of disaster. Gosh. Sorry, I'm allergic to copyright claims. So, in the beginning of the game, Orta's village is attacked by the Imperials and their dragon mares, but Orta is saved by an ancient dragon of the old world. After her escape, she encounters a mysterious drone known as Abad, who seems to know more about Orta and her destiny before he flies off and Orta tries to follow him. In her attempt to tail Abad, she befriends Mobo and the Worm Riders, which is pretty inconsequential and I'm only mentioning so I can show off my favorite laugh in any piece of media ever. It's so good, I love it. Anyway, Mobo dies in an Imperial attack, and Orta gets yeeted into a frozen tundra where she meets back up with Abad, who leads her to the home of the drones. Throughout the game so far, Orta's been given hints that she herself is a drone in a very Shadow the Hedgehog kind of way. Finally, the resolution of this question comes after she gets transported into a computer, don't think about it, learns that Abad is her father and her mother is a human, don't think about it, and it's revealed that the reason Abad wants Orta is because her data is important to him to reproduce himself infinitely. For the love of God, don't think about it. After this, the story goes completely off the rails. An all-out war breaks out between the Empire and the drones after Abad takes control of the Cradle, the artifact that controls the dragon mares. Oh yeah, and Mobo's not dead, so that's something, I guess. So in the end, you blow up the Cradle, kill Abad, and that's the game. Oh, and the dragon died, but not before having a little baby dragon! So that's the story, but how's the game actually play? Well, to put it simply, Star Fox on steroids. If you've played Star Fox, you know exactly what I mean. You automatically fly through levels while targeting onto enemies and dodging attacks or obstacles. That being said, there's much more to this game than that basic structure. Unlike Star Fox, where you just have your basic charge shot and smart bombs, Orta's arsenal is much more diverse with 3 different weapons. The Base Wing, a weapon that can lock onto several targets at once before firing. The Heavy Wing, a weapon that can only lock onto 3 targets at once but deals more damage as a result. And my personal favorite, the Glide Wing, a rapid-fire weapon that auto-locks onto whatever's closest. Each weapon also has what's called a Berserk attack, which is a special borderline screen wipe attack you can use when the Berserk gauge is full. As you progress through the game, you actually level up your weapons depending on how much you use each one, which encourages you to use every weapon equally so they all stay on par with each other. level structure is pretty unique as well. Instead of all the action happening directly in front of you, you have to take care of all 360 degrees around you, which leads to some pretty hectic situations, which are also smoothed over by the beautiful set pieces. Seriously, the levels in this game are gorgeous. From fighting a fleet in the clouds Sonic Adventure style, to battling bugs in a lush green valley, there's not a single level that doesn't make me grin ear to ear with its presentation. There are 10 levels in all, and each level ends with a boss because, you know, tradition! The bosses are all pretty much the same in premise. Dodge the projectiles, boost to its weak point, and glide wing that sucker into the 4th dimension. At least that's the case for the majority of the game. But in the last few levels, the difficulty spikes hard. And when I say hard, I mean the Imperial Defense Unit boss was seriously like pulling teeth. I've never gotten so close to throwing my controller into a wall before. It's one of those bosses where even when you beat it, you don't really feel you actually beat it. It just feels like you got really lucky. But you know what? I seriously recommend this game. The story is honestly beautiful with themes of humanity and change while being thoroughly Japanese in its creatively insane presentation. A skilled player could probably knock this game out in about 4 or 5 hours, but even after completing the story, you're not really done with this game's content. There's actually a totally different campaign where you play as a young Imperial boy, which despite how interesting that sounds, I personally haven't played all the way through yet.
But wait! There's more!
Because after finishing the main story, you also unlock the original Panzer Dragoon. So while I'm waiting on this, I can pass the time by playing this. In closing, if you like rail shooters, dragons, and bizarre sci-fi fantasy worlds, then just like me, this game was practically made for you. And I implore you to track this game down and support the first game's remake when it finally comes out. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, leave a like and become a pyromaniac yourself by subscribing. Until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.